All right, we are almost done with this narrative, so now I'm going to talk to you about sentence variety. One way to make your writing more interesting is to improve your sentence variety. When a writer uses a lot of the same types of sentences, it can make the writing kind of lifeless. So look at this paragraph, which is from an early draft of the story Frog. I emptied the small trash in my room. I headed back out into the hall. I saw that the frog was still there. I took a step toward him, but he didn't move. I hovered just above him with the trash can. I could see that little bulgy thing under his neck. It pulsed as he breathed. It clearly describes the action that is happening, but so many of the sentences are the same. They start the same, they're about the same length, and they have a similar style. Now let's look at the same paragraph with better sentence variety. So the second version has a much better mix of sentences. In my room, I emptied the small trash and headed back into the hall. Still there. I took a step toward him. He didn't move. Another. Nothing. Soon I was hovering just above him with the trash can, so close I thought I could see that little bulgy thing under his neck pulsing as he breathed. So to improve sentence variety in your story, work on varying your sentence length, sentence beginnings, and sentence styles. So the first way to improve sentence variety is to vary your sentence length. When most of your sentences are about the same length, your writing can feel choppy. It even sounded choppy and robotic when I was reading it. So look for places where you can add some very short sentences and other places where you can combine sentences to make them longer. In the first paragraph we just looked at, most of the sentences are close in length. So you can see 9 words, 7 words, 8 words, 10 words, 9 words, 10 words, 5 words. So they're all very, very similar length. It just makes it boring and robotic to read. So in the revised paragraph, the sentence lengths have a much wider variety. Okay, so you can see this one is 15 words, this one's 2, this one's 6, this one's 3, 1, 29. Another strategy is to vary sentence beginnings. If a lot of your sentences start the same way, like this one, in this paragraph, it can make your writing feel repetitive. I spent, I changed, I found. It just gets repetitive and boring, so you need to vary sentence beginnings also. In this revised paragraph, 2 sentences have been rewritten so that they start differently. This adds more interest and variety to the writing. So the next half hour, I changed instead of watching a movie like I normally would. So adding some variety makes it better. And then the last way to improve your sentence variety is by varying sentence styles. So this paragraph contains several sentences that use the same style with a simple subject. We've talked about that before, simple subject, followed by a verb, and then a little more information. If we revise it, changing some of the sentences to give them a different style, it makes the paragraph more interesting. So this paragraph has better variety. So, my parents don't admit she's a babysitter. Chloe is a college student. She's the daughter of my parents' friends. My parents say she comes over to hang out with me. Chloe says the same thing. I'm not an idiot. I know what's going on. So again, simple subject. My parents don't. Chloe is. She is. My parents say. Chloe says. I'm not an idiot. I know. Now here, there's different ways to start the beginning of those sentences. Of course, they don't. Then you have Chloe is. Chloe says it too, but I know what's going on. So it has better variety. One of the best ways to discover new ways to write sentences is by studying published stories to see what other writers do, then imitating their sentence styles in your own writing. For example, this sentence appears in Frog. It is made up of a phrase describing the subject followed by a comma. Okay, see the comma there? then an action, and another action. Other sentences that imitate this same style are: panting heavily, the dog charged toward the pool and jumped in. And their costumes twinkling, the dancers burst onto the stage and dazzled the crowd. So you see how it has a phrase describing the subject right here. Okay? So that's something that I would like you to think about trying. Here are two other sentences whose styles you can try. Look at your story draft. Okay? And you're going to find places where you can imitate those styles in your own story. Now, so right now your task is to go through a chunk of your story, count the number of words in each sentence. So find a paragraph or two, count the number of words. If the total number in most sentences is close, revise it for better variety. And then this is super important. Read your story out loud and look for places where you are starting lots of sentences the same way. Revise them so they have different beginnings. And then look through published stories for sentence styles you can imitate in your own writing and add some of these styles to your story. You can Google this too. You can Google sentence variety, and there's lots of stuff on the internet that can help you as well. Okay?